Okay. Shukra Ketu Bhyam.
Shukra Ketubhyam
Rakta Pradara.
Rakta Pradara.
Now, if Shukra and Ketu join, it causes problems to the blood. Now, this need not be in second from Upapada, but if it is, it can affect the blood of the partner. If it's second from Arudha Lagna, it could indicate your blood. Okay? Right? Straightforward. If you see a disease and it's Shukra Ketu, it can indicate a blood disease. So therefore, this is quite straightforward. Let's take the next one. Asti Stravo.
Astristavo
Buddha Ketu Bhyam.
Buddha Ketubhyam.
Mercury and Ketu joining in the second indicate decay of bones or breaking of bones of spouse in case of second Bhubapada.
So can I ask one question?
In accidents and so on.
In accidents, Mercury Ketu, because Surya is bones,
Exactly.
as I know.
Exactly. And moon is blood.
Blood, yes.
That's why I wanted to take both of them before we discussed it. See, Ketu does not like the Rajas Grahas, and Rahu does not like the Sattvic Grahas.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing you must keep in mind. That's why Ketu is mentioned in both cases. It's very specific that he's mentioned these. Now, the nodes never work on the Graha itself. It always hits somebody somewhere else. For example, Shukra Ketu means Jala has been hit. He will hit that. When this hits, it means the Jala Graha among the Sattvic ones are suffering. Who is the one who is the Jala Graha? In the Sattvic group?
Chandra.
Moon is the Jala Graha in Sattvic group. Similarly, in Mercury Ketu, it shows that the other Graha, which is male, like this was female, male in the Sattvic group is hit, which is Sun. There's only one fellow who is Prithvi in the whole zodiac. But the male one in the Sattvic group is hit. So these, both cases, is hitting a Sattvic group.
But Jupiter is also male.
What?
Jupiter is also male.
We get into
Somewhere.
Jupiter. Be very specific. This is related to Ketu. I use this a lot in chart. A lot. I mean, this sutra I can really use, and not just for blood disorders. You can call it blood disorders. You can also bleed in your finances due to this. You can. You can have broken finances due to this one. So I'll look at this in Navamsa also. Or any divisional chart. Let's say a person says, I want to do some work related to Ketu. Oh, sorry, Mercury. My mistake. Mercury. For example, Mercury has to do with languages, translations, business. If I see in Navamsha that Mercury is, let's say, in second or sixth or 10th from Navamsha Lagna, or in first, fifth or ninth, these things can happen. They can do this work. But if this Ketu has Rashi Drishti on it, on that Mercury, surely what they'll do over there will fail. Will fail. It won't work. That aspect of life is defeated. They will lose their job, they will lose their business, they will lose the money there. It will happen. And my job is to ensure that the resources in the sign of Ketu are being strengthened. That means what? Let's say Ketu is in Virgo and Mercury is in Gemini. Being in Virgo, it means Virgo is the problem. Ketu in Virgo. So I increase the resources of Virgo. So I'll give the Jyotirlinga of Virgo. If in Rashi, I'll give the Aditya. Only in Navamsha will I give Jyotirlinga. Keep that in mind. Other Vargas, Aditya. Jyotirlinga, Navamsha sign. Rashi sign, Aditya.
Of the Ketu in Navamsha.
Ketu sign, yes. Use this in all divisional charts. Somebody says, I have problems with my subordinates. I've employed somebody. And let's say in that chart, Aquarius is the Lagna in Dashamsha. And Mercury is the fifth lord in Aquarius. And Ketu has Rashi Drishti on Aquarius. Then the person will come and complain that they have serious problems with the people that they employ. Because every time they employ somebody, that fifth lord goes, Buddha Ketu Bhyam. Asti stravo, broken bones. So many broken relationships with subordinates. Okay. Or Venus is the fifth lord in Dashamsha. Join Ketu or aspected by Ketu. The relationships are not strong, or there are problems in the relationship, emotions are bad. Okay? So this is versatile, it's really useful. Ketu will hit the Rajasic Grahas. So if you have a Rajasic Graha indicating a profession, look out for Ketu. Look for him. Where is he? Is he having Rashi Trishti? Protect that sign. He's bleeding the resources from that sign. I'm sorry, he can be bleeding or he can be breaking. One of the two. He'll do one.
What is the Jyotirlinga of Virgo?
Jyotirlinga of Virgo? It is, what is it? Which is the Jyotirlinga of Virgo?
I think it's no, it's for Mitra.
Mallikarjuna.
Mallikarjuna, right.
Malika?
Mallikarjuna. It's for Virgo. Where's your Ketu in D10, Dennis?
In D10 is in Aries.
I know. It aspects Aquarius, right?
Yes,
And Mercury is fifth lord.
yes. Yeah, I have problems with soap or subordinates.
I know, this is your example.
So from now on, they're just gonna get fired one after the other.
Right? You see the example? Now, this is also telling you about what's happening. Astistrava, bones are breaking. So it's like you're supposed to have, like, say, a 5-year relationship with a person, a subordinate, and instead of having that, you have like 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, 1 month, 5 months, 6 months, 7 months, broken each month, broken each 2 months. Usually it's 2 months is the maximum, then it breaks. More Mercury will give 2 months. Not that it breaks. It can also indicate broken businesses. Many businesses you've started and they don't survive. Shukraketu is blood being impure, or blood disease. That means it's like you have a pool of blood and there's some disease in there, and the disease is spreading and growing, and it's causing jala, bad emotions. People will see you and run away. Like you have a client, he sees you, he runs away after seeing you. Okay? I know a meditation teacher who has this. He has taught many people meditation, but he's only seen them once. After he's seen them once, they run away. Okay? Emotions can also be appearances which are bad. Something to do with can be. Shani,
Shani,
Ravi,
Ravi,
Rahu,
Rahu,
Bhi,
Bhi,
Asti,
Asti,
Jvara.
Vara,
Asti Jvara is bone fever. Saturn, Rahu and Sun when they have yoga can give bone fever. Okay? Basically the Sun, which indicates bones, has been hit. And it's diseased because of Saturn and Sun. And the Sun is being further eclipsed by Rahu. The key to this is Rahu. When Rahu joins a Sattvic Graha, he really destroys that Graha. Sattvic Grahas, Sun, Moon, Jupiter. So if you have a profession indicated by Sun, Moon or Jupiter, be careful of Rahu. Saturn will only add to the disease. In fact, Saturn may not give any fevers. If just Saturn and Sun, it can indicate broken bones. Just Saturn and Sun, broken bones. But if Rahu comes into it, then there's bone fever. Something has entered the bone, caused some serious disease in there. It's starting to spread. Bone fever. Herein it's worth noting, remember we said, Sun is good for the Upapada, right? So here he is confirmed, not if afflicted. He's not good if he's afflicted. Alone he is fine. With benefics he is fine. But afflicted, then he starts causing problems. That's why it's bone fever. Buddha Ketu Bhyam.
Ketuvyam.
Staulyam.
Staulyam.
Now, Mercury in the second with Ketu, it will indicate a corpulent spouse. But before we learned, Buddha with Ketu means that his bones are broken. So why does he differentiate in this case? He's actually indicating the true proper issue with Buddha and Ketu joined. He's saying, if Buddha has joined Ketu, then something is happening with the hormones. The hormones itself. There's a hormonal problem. And as a result of which it can cause obesity. Obesity is indicated by this. We're not talking about just putting on a little bit of weight. This is obesity yoga. This will also apply according to Parashara if other malefics associate with Mercury. So it's not only Ketu, it's malefics associated with Mercury. Especially the Agni ones, Sun and Mars, they really hit Mercury bad. Sun, Mars and Ketu, look out for them. If they afflict Mercury, some hormonal problem is there, this can lead to obesity.
How that happens? I mean, Mercury should be.
Rashi Drishti of malefics on Mercury.
No.
And-
But what is the relationship? Why
Yes.
that goes to obesity? The relationship between Ketu and Mercury.
Yeah.
Why they gives?
Yes, why obesity? It's because of hormonal problems. Mercury is supposed to signify the communication between body parts. Okay?
It could be any other disease.
It could, yes. This can often cause cancerous diseases. If you look in D30, Mercury can cause cancer. Because it's tridoshic disease, hormonal problem. So Mercury's dosha is tridoshic. So when certain afflictions are there, Mercury can confirm, is it cancer or is it another type of growth? Okay? The problem comes from the Rajas grahas in disease. Because, especially Mercury, he's tridoshic, Venus is dvidoshik, he has two doshas. You know? What are those? Kapha and Vata. Right? Or is it Agni and Kapha? Kapha and Vata. Mercury has Vata, Kapha, Pitta, all three. He has all three. The other grahas are not so bad. Saturn, one dosha, Vata. Mars, one dosha, Pitta. Moon, he can also be Kapha, Vata. Sun is still Pitta, Sattva, Pitta, very nice. So the others are not a problem. But Mercury and Venus, when they get involved in disease, are bad. And Mercury especially is the worst. Three doshas. What does that mean? Your whole body can suffer. Not just like, oh, Vata, skin problem, dryness of something. One quick remedy. So Mercury is the worst among the disease causes when afflicted. Alright?
How do we look in from the 30?
See if the planets causing disease are in Gemini or Virgo in D30. Or during Mercury. So you see, Jaimini's smart. He's giving us a bunch of Ayurvedic sutras now. How to read disease in a chart. Also, he's trying to clarify. You may know that moon indicates blood and sun indicates bone. Now I'll give you some quick riders so you'll understand the hidden meanings of some of these things. Mercury Ketu can also indicate bone. This is a very broad sutra also. Very broad. Okay. More. Buddha Kshetre Mandara Bhyam
Mandarabhyam.
Nashikaroga.
Nashikaroga.
If the sign in question is a mercurial sign with Saturn and Mars, it says or, and Mars, nasal problems are indicated for spouse. Okay. Here's the reason. If you have Saturn in a mercurial sign, you will have obstruction of the nose, blocked nose, do not breathe properly. If Mars associates also, then this obstruction goes through bleeding. Okay. Why is Mercury indicated here? Why is Mercury's relationship? What does this show nose?
Breathing.
Prithvi Tattva is the nose. The nose reacts on smell, and that's Prithvi Tattva. Okay. Seen in the 12th house. Okay. So that's why Mercury, the nose. Kuja Kshetre Cha. If this sign in question is that of Mars, either Mars or Saturn, this will also happen. So why Mars?
Because of the head.
Okay. So then Aries, but then what about Scorpio?
Mars
See
is,
this?
Mars is normally bone marrow, right?
Nerves.
Nerves.
Good.
Why?
Hmm?
Why Mars?
Good question. Mars does not like Mercury very much. Mercury is the Prithvi Tattva. So, if Mars gets very negative, then he'll try to hit Mercury. Obviously, if Mars is on sign, it's not a big problem. But if Mars is with Saturn in on sign, then it's going to hit something else, some other part of the body, of which Mars will first hit the Prithvi Tattva, and Saturn will hit the Jala. Jaimini is a smart fellow. All these yogas. If you really understand these sutras, you'll be damn good at Ayurveda. Okay, let's see this one. Guru Shani Bhyam Karna Rogo Narahaka Cha. Jupiter and Saturn associated in the sign in question shows ear complaints or nervous disorders of the spouse, or that is the person. So, why does it give ear complaints?
Hearing is a
Hearing is
caution.
Jupiter.
Hearing is Akash, so that is ruled. Good. Why does it give nervous disorders? Shani gives nervous disorders. What? Tell me.
For you?
Vayu Tattva.
No, but just like in the previous shloka, it's going to hit something else. This time, Shani will probably hit Mangal. And since Mangal being significating nerves, it's going to hit the nerves.
It's a good argument. It's a good argument. Good argument. It's worth considering. Yes. But you see, there's an element of the immune system, of the nervous system indicated by Akash. The nervous system is the one that communicates with the entire body, internal communication. It is like Akash, it's binding everything together, saying do this, do that, do this, do that. Truly, how does Akash control the tattvas? He makes them sit together. He makes them communicate with each other, talk together, sit down in a group, let's talk. So, obviously that means that Jupiter is no ordinary Jupiter, maybe it's his own sign. Then he'll cause problems to the nervous system.
Do you by any chance have like scheme which is nerves as a physical part of body,
This is
which
obviously
is
not the physical
communication?
part of it.
Okay,
It's obviously not.
so it's just but then communication, it's indicated by Mercury. Like in between.
Communication is Mercury, yes. It's like other signals being sent.
Okay,
Yes, that's right.
right.
Jupiter is how the flow is. You will see that people who have this affliction, they will not feel comfortable in their own skin. They'll feel as if their body is not under control. Understand? When the tattvas say, we're going to leave, then it means the body itself is starting to fall apart. You know? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? This is the akash itself. What is holding the body together is being inflicted. The others are different tattvas. Okay. Guru Rahu Bhyam Danta Roga. This one's easy. Jupiter is Sattvic. Rahu hits him. Rahu will not hit the same place. He'll hit somewhere else. But here, because we're already in the Sattvic group, we cannot go higher than that. So it'll be within the same group. Jupiter, the savior of Jupiter is the sun. So the sun will be hit here. Similarly, if Rahu joins the sun, Jupiter will be hit. They exchange like this. If Rahu hits moon, Venus will be hit because they also exchange. That's the exception. So again, professions indicated by Jupiter, Sun. Look for Rahu. You can ruin that profession. Rashi Drishti, not Graha Drishti. Rashi Drishti. That decides the resources of the sign. Shani Rahu Bhyam.
Shani
Shani
Rahu.
Rahu.
Kanya Tulayo.
Kanya Tulayo.
Pangur Varogova. Now, Saturn and Rahu, both of them. Bhyam means both. Bhyam. Can you see this? It's okay.
No, okay, just I'm looking at the second word, Kanya Tula. It sounds like Virgo and
Kanya means Virgo,
Libra.
Tula means Libra. Yes, you're right. Let's just see here.
It is better.
Huh?
but then
Let's see.
Aquarius and Pisces.
Tu Katapayadi of Kanya.
Yeah, he's not mentioning Rashis.
Tu
Yeah.
Katapayadi of
Yeah, that's
Kanya.
right. That's
Ka
right.
is the first one. Katapayadi. Ka. Ka is one. Ya is Katapaya. Ya is also one. So Kaya. Now, 1 and 1. You don't
11.
remove multiple 12s, you'll still get 1 on 1. 11. So Kanya means Aquarius. Tula.
Tie 6 and
6. Yarala. 3. 36.
12.
12. So in Aquarius and Pisces, it can cause lameness. He also says flatulence. Basically, what's happening here? Remember, Shani and Rahu cause scandal? They will not cause scandal in Aquarius and Pisces. And instead, they'll give disease to spouse.
No, what is
What
flatulence?
is flatulence?
Flatulence. That's normally associated with gastric problems. It also means the person is very lazy also. Okay? It has two meanings. It can distinctly cause a gastric problem where the stomach is not able to release gas properly, or does so throughout the day. Like there's some people who have serious gastric problems and they just okay? And lameness means unable to move. But the word used is pangu. Pangu means have difficulty walking. So Saturn and Rahu can cause difficulties walking because they cause the body to be stiff. It has a hidden meaning also. You see, he's actually given this Parashar has done something very smart here. You see this va here. Okay? So Jaimini does this. This va means or. Pangu va rogo. So, this pangu can mean for Aquarius, and rogo can mean for Pisces. Or pangu can mean for Saturn, and rogo can mean for Rahu. Pangu means you are not able to move. Rogo means you are ill, having disease. It can also mean Pangu Muni is indicated by Saturn. Who is Pangu Muni? Parashara. So he's hidden in this sutra that Saturn indicates Parashara. He's hidden that. So when you see Parashara, Saturn in a chart, it indicates Parashara. That's why the other day when we got the list of rishis, I said Saturn is Parashara. This sutra confirms it. His name is Pangu Muni. Do you know why his name is Pangu Muni? He got into a big problem. There were some soldiers who beat him with swords. They couldn't cut him, so they had to beat him with the swords. They couldn't cut his flesh. So after that, his bone was broken. After he got healed, he was walking with a limp all the time. That's because, and that signifies Saturn in the chart.
Saturn also.
So there are multiple meanings to this. So we can say that from the disease perspective, if Saturn and Rahu join in Aquarius, it causes lameness. If Saturn and Rahu join in Pisces, it causes flatulence, gastric problems. Parashara holds a slightly different view as he includes Capricorn as well as Aquarius. Sanjay writes here that he's inclined to agree with this. The windy complaints occur if this conjunction is in Pisces. Another commentator, Neil Kant, and others feel that the signs Virgo and Libra are involved, which is quite off the mark, because Jaimini will not use the real names of the signs. And this is implying also, scandal is not there. Saturn Rahu join in Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. On top of this, Varahamihira says Saturn in Sagittarius is also good. But neither Parashara nor Jaimini have confirmed that. So we don't accept that. Could you understand why Saturn and Rahu cause these problems?
Yes.
Yes. Saturn is Saturn and Rahu are the windy planets. But if they're in Aquarius, they cannot cause so much windy problems. That means they're strong, their tattvas are strong. They can instead cause lameness, lack of movement. In Pisces, they can still cause flatulence, gastric problems. Now a nice and easy sutra. Shubha.
Shubha.
Rig Yogatra.
Dvijavatra.
Jaimini will repeat this many times. Many times. He says beneficial aspects on this, on any of the diseases we've seen earlier, will mitigate the negative results. What does that mean? It means one benefic associating can give you medicine. One benefic associating is the doctor who will heal you. One benefic associating is the mantra you have to do to overcome the problem. And Drig Yogatra means Shubha Yoga, Rashi Drishti. Not Yuti to that extent, I'll say. Yuti sometimes, not always. Because there's a risk that the Yuti could get involved in a new disease. Okay. Let's say in Dennis's case. Let's assume in one divisional chart he has Mercury in Aquarius and Ketu in Aries. And Venus is in, let's say, Scorpio, 10th house. You got that, chart? Mercury in Aquarius, Venus in Scorpio, Ketu in Aries. Venus is in Kendra to Lagna. So if he makes Venus stronger, he's supposed to overcome his problems with Mercury, who is afflicted in Kendra. So by assumption, this means I should tell him to strengthen Venus. Yes? It's in Kendra. Kendra is good. I told you just a few minutes ago, or hours ago, Venus in Kendra to Lagna is very good, as a Mercury Jupiter. Problem. Ketu is associated with Venus by Rashi Drishti. Because Aries and Scorpio have Rashi Drishti on each other. So Venus is taken out of the hurdle and Mercury is taken out of the career, and they're both suffering. So is it any benefic who will remove the problems? No. Depends on context. In such a scenario, to remove Ketu problems, you need Sattvic grahas, of which only two are benefic, Jupiter and Moon. Okay. Remember that. How will a Rajas graha help out another Rajas graha if the whole problem is that Rajas is being defeated? Okay? 2 minutes break. Just for me. I'll be right back. case studies. And the preliminary for these case studies I've taken up 3 charts, which all show very different indications, different problems. And we'll be analyzing some specificities in these charts. And I've written here some few points. Besides the initial data karaka analysis, so I hope you didn't forget data karaka analysis, because we've done that, right? Oh, somebody looks like they don't remember. Is that right? Remember we looked at Atma Karaka, Dara Karaka, and Navamsa, right? Okay. Dara Karaka in 3rd, 6th, 8th, or 12th from Atma Karaka in Navamsa. Dara Karaka associating with 7th house in Rashi is a good guarantee of marriage.
No.
But if Dara Karaka is in 7th in Rashi or Navamsa, it hurts the first relationship. Karaka Bhavanasha. Besides the initial Dara Karaka analysis, the Upapada and Venus should be carefully analyzed in the Rashi and Navamsha for marriage details. Navamsha is pivotal to understand the chart. Venus in the 12th in Navamsha can deny marriage altogether, or at best give a marriage which is highly unorthodox. What does this mean? Jens knows all about these. A couple is married, but they barely see each other, and the purpose for which they are married is to have kids. They live a spiritual life, they barely have any association with each other. They live in temple, wife goes and works in her part of the temple, husband works in his part of the temple. They only see each other in the evening, and if they're not going to have children, then that is it for their association. The yoga is very little beyond that. Okay. Many priests have this yoga, Venus in 12th house. It can also mean that the marriage is not a real marriage, there's something else underneath. Like one fellow, he married a spy, a very well-known character, personality, he married a spy. And that spy had the sole purpose of reporting all the work he did to the other government that she worked for. He had Venus in 12th house. But yet he married. But the relationship was a bit unorthodox. He didn't know she was a spy. She was spying on him. No. So good to check that chart. If Upapada Lord in the Rashi is placed in the 12th, in denying, this also hinders the first marriage. I mentioned this earlier. So you must see the Upapada Lord in Rashi and Navamsha. None of what I have said here is going to be the indication to say marriage is denied for life. This is only showing the specific relationship. Later we will deal with that aspect of marriage which can tell you, is this person going to marry at all? Ever? Or is this person actually going to marry? That yes, no answer, I will deal with. I have told a little bit about 12th from moon, right? Okay. Let's see this first chart. This person has Sagittarius, Lagna. Can you see the chart? Yes. I have tried to give you Rashi and Navamsha. Rashi and Navamsha in both chart styles. Upapada is in Cancer.
But there are 2 Upapadas.
Yes, they are. Where's the other Upapada? One is in
what's that?
Virgo.
Virgo.
And the other is in
Eight.
Cancer.
Cancer.
So, one is in 10th and the other one is in 8th. Good. You tell me that. Ha. The one in 8th is in trines to Venus. And the one in 10th is in 7th from Venus. So when I say analyze Venus, I also mean analyze where the Upapada is placed from Venus. If you remember Branca's chart, Venus was well placed from one Upapada, but not well placed from the other. Or rather, that Upapada was better placed from Venus, is more appropriate to say. 5th house from Venus is Achadana Drishti. Do you remember that? Achadana Drishti, your desire for this life. 5th house from Venus is the strongest place in the chart for relationships. Okay. Strongest place for relationships. So among this Venus in Virgo and this Venus in Cancer, this Venus in Cancer is certainly stronger. Because it's in 5th house from Venus.
And that one is in 7th from Venus. Well, not so bad either.
It's not so bad, but as I mentioned, 5th house from Venus is strong.
Yes, but that moon is Ashtama and Marana Karakastan from Lagna, so...
So what will
it
that
doesn't-
indicate?
It will indicate great suffering in that relationship.
Ah,
And it can hardly manifest, I
Hardly.
think.
correct.
Hardly
Where is Moon in Navamsha? We need to see. Moon is the lord of this
Oh,
human
it's
family.
12th. No
12th
way.
house. Man is unmarried.
So much. So much about that.
He's unmarried and he doesn't like the idea of marriage. I should give you some secrets also. Okay? Should I?
Always.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
should.
yeah, yeah.
Little small secret,
But
right?
no relationship.
No,
Oh.
big, fat secrets.
Wait.
Juicy ones.
Okay, let's see this other Upapada in Virgo. Okay? The Lord is Mercury, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lord is Mercury. And there's Jupiter Ketu here yoga. So this is some great parampara yoga. Nice, some tradition, spirituality, this and that. And the Lord Mercury is in second house, indicating a large group of people. So this Upapada in Virgo is very good for groups and spirituality and relationships and everything with people. Where's this Mercury in Navamsha?
Age.
8th house. So it's not any better, is it?
Yeah,
If
she's
I'm
quite
right,
bored of
this
that.
moon is also Dara Karaka in 12th house. And Venus is in 12th house.
Venus is Lord in second there from.
Okay. Saturn is Atma Karaka and Dara Karaka is in 6th there from.
He really doesn't want it.
Doesn't like marriage, doesn't want marriage, despises even the idea of marriage. Okay. So we may conclude from this that this person is not likely to marry. Trust me, you learn such things from Jyotish with these. Okay. Now this guy. What is his Dara Karaka? I'm supposed to tell you that. Okay. Hey, what happened? It is in, yeah. Atma Karaka is Saturn, Dara Karaka is Venus. Okay. So we first see Atma Karaka and Dara Karaka.
Venus was Dara Karaka, right?
Venus is Dara Karaka, yes.
Okay, there's a problem. 12th house Venus.
It's in 12th house in Rashi, but that's not as bad. In
No,
fact,
but-
Venus is very good. If it's in Navamsha 12th house, then we have a predicament.
No, it's in
Third
third.
house.
So let's see, in Navamsha it's in 3rd house.
But
Okay.
sixth house
Where is
the
it from
Atma Karaka.
Atma Karaka?
It's in
Eighth house.
8th house. That can pose a significant problem, yes. But 8th house does not deny. 12th house denies.
Mm.
8th house, broken relationships, problems. Also, Venus is not in 12th house in Navamsha. Alright. Right, so far so good.
Manga is here after Jupiter.
Jupiter is here. Mars is in 2nd. But there is planets in 3rd there from. It's a Malika.
Oh, yeah,
Because of this came to Mercury, he does want a family. He does. But this is going to pose a problem. He is married, but he doesn't have his own kids.
Mercury in Cancer.
Parivartana with
No, Mars
Ah.
is
Moon. Moon Mercury.
Moon, Mercury, Parivartana.
Okay.
Now, what's more?
I mean, it was said somewhere that Venus in 12th also gives like a bad pleasure, like
And
enjoyment.
that's why it's
of the-
good in Rashi.
Of the opposite sex.
Venus in 12th is very good in Rashi. Remember 3 positions. Jupiter in 6th house, Mercury in 8th house, Venus in 12th house. Superb positions. Jupiter in 6th gives purity. Mercury in 8th gives debt-free. You have no debts. And Venus in 12th gives very comfortable relationships. Lots of comfort in relationships.
What was the first about Jupiter? Sorry.
Jupiter in sixth, purity.
Purity, right.
Yeah, it does. Jupiter in 6th gives a lot of purity.
Okay.
If these are afflicted, you may as well reverse the indications and just give you
Mercury.
Yeah.
In eighth.
Mercury innate, no debts.
debt-free. Mercury in 8th, debt-free.
those are treatments for duštanas.
Okay, now. All right, we have analyzed Dara Karaka, and we see it comes out. Bit of bad, bit of good.
Yes.
And we saw Atma Karaka in this connection. What else do you want to analyze? 12th Lord from Moon.
Yes.
Why?
12th Lord from Moon is Venus in own sign in 12th house. This is good relationships. Right? But they may have to come from a foreign country.
Well, in my house, again,
Upapada in 9th house. This is very good.
for country, again.
And why is that foreign country? Because of the 12th in itself, or
12th
Lord
itself.
of 7th in 12th, Jupiter, or 12th itself?
Because 12th Lord from Moon shows also what you must do in the community to get your spouse. It can mean he has to travel all over the globe. Okay? He must go abroad. Then to find the spouse when he's abroad, we see 7th Lord from Venus, since Lord is Mars or Ketu. Mars is in a dual sign. Next state. Okay. Got it? Largely the Upapada seems not so bad. Right? What is it? 9th house. Albeit Rahu in 8th house, Saturn is in 4th house. That's not so bad. I mean, it can cause some difficulties in childhood, but it's not bad for Upapada. Right? It can cause some heartache though.
He has other problems though with the malefics in first and fourth, but that's a different subject.
Malefics in 1st and 4th? Yes.
But
Yes. He has difficulty being
Feel-
honest with some people because of this, yes.
feeling,
Saturn is Atma Karaka, so it is a significant issue in his life. How is Darapada here? Darapada is here, right?
Yes, in
yeah.
fifth.
Good. It's aspected by 2 planets by Rashi Drishti, right? Jupiter and Venus. So 2 relationships. 2 relationships will be there. See that? Darapada can indicate the number of relationships. Which may or may not be Upapada.
Rashi Drishti, they are counting.
Yes. Graha Drishti means somebody wanted to be a relationship, but they couldn't. Okay. Now, if I told you this person got married quite late, what would you say about that? What would you do about this chart? Is a Ruda Lagna associated with Saturn?
No, Upapada Lagna is...
Upapada only, but not a Ruda Lagna.
No.
So it's not that brahmachari scenario. In fact, throughout his life he wanted relationships, he wanted to get married. Throughout his life.
What is quite late? 36?
No, he was in his 50s.
Why didn't he marry?
Hello, Upapada is in Rushtana. No, it's not fourth.
Lord of Upapada, Saturn is in Dushtana and Navamsa.
Bad.
So he should be unhealthy. Okay, it's possible, yes. But 8th house is not so bad. It's not denying. Maybe there's delay because of this. You could infer that. I would like you to take your attention to the 6th Lord in the chart. The 6th Lord in the chart
Ketu Manga.
can delay marriage, especially when in Kendra to Lagna.
It's not.
Huh?
It's not in Kendra to Lagna.
No,
No, no.
Mars is not in Kendra to
That's
Lagna.
not Kendra.
Say that.
Mars not yet.
Mars.
No, it doesn't have to be both. Just one is enough. Just Mars.
Oh, that's Mercury Ketu. Sorry, it is in Kendra. Sorry, it's in first.
6th Lord in Lagna and aspecting 7th house as a result can delay marriage. We need to give the lamps and ghee.
Ascendant or Kendra?
Spoon
Or
and
Ascendant.
Whichever Kendra house the 6th Lord is in shows what is delaying marriage.
What?
For example,
For house.
if 6th Lord is in 4th house, then it means that because you're spending too much time at home, you're not getting married.
So does
6th Lord in 10th house, because you're working, you're not getting married. So stop working, you'll get married.
is that your problem?
sort of.
Then I am my own problem.
Yes. What is your sixth lord?
Huh?
What is your sixth lord? Which graha?
It's Mangal, Lagna, Lord in Lagna.
Oh yeah, you sure it's Mangal?
Not Ketu, sorry.
It's not Mangal. Either way, sixth lord in Lagna Mangal. Sixth lord, there's only one planet for you. It's Aries. Lord is Mars. Mars is in Lagna. It should give delay of marriage. So what's the remedy?
Mantra.
Mantra for?
Mars.
Very good. Ah. I have sixth lord in Kendra to my Lagna. Mars in 10th house. Which mantra did I do? Aglamukhi, Mars. Does that answer your question?
Indeed, brother, it does.
He has sixth lord Mars in Kendra to Lagna. In Lagna aspecting 7th house. What would you advise him? Aglamukhi. He didn't do it. Okay. Now. So, sixth lord is in Lagna. Now this sun and moon over there, there's sun and moon in Lagna also with that Mars. They're going to support that Mars and say, okay, let us not marry. Sun and moon like Mars. They're friendly towards him. Correct? And who's Lagna Lord here? Is it Mercury who's there, or is it Moon who's in Parivartana with it? It's Moon. It's the Parivartana. And Mars is the most benefic planet in the Lagna. Why? Because Moon, who's the most benefic, has exchange with Mars. So he'll believe this Mars is good for him. So he'll believe sixth lord is good for him. So he spent a long time in celibacy because of this. And literally celibacy because sixth lord is in Lagna. Can cause a lot of separation. You'll spend a lot of time in ashrams in India.
Yes.
Serving your guru. So he did that. Now you can see that this Saturn is actually trying to do the opposite of this Mars. See this Mars here, Saturn? This is blue boxer and red boxer. Mars, red boxer, is saying celibacy, he's sixth lord in Lagna. So this Saturn is saying blue boxer, no, we must not support this. And Saturn is lord of Upapada. So this Saturn actually wants to give him marriage. So, in this scenario, we cannot justify Saturn saying bachelor. See that? Because he just doesn't want Mars, which is celibacy here.
So if you were to put another graha, say, okay, Mercury, bad example, but Venus.
So who will be, let's say, opposed to Venus's ideals? Maybe Ketu, right? Maybe Mars to some extent, maybe, some extent.
Can you find one chart with like some really nice indication without too many problems?
Yeah, I will find some.
please.
Relax, you must know the problems before you know the blessings.
Great.
Okay. And this is not like a problem. He chose to do that. Sixth lord is in Lagna, Mars is there, Mars is most benefic, he thinks he must be celibate, Saturn and Mars are battling each other, Saturn says I should get married, Mars says no marriage, celibacy.
Seven
So
house.
his guru ensured that whenever he even got the whiff of that he was about to get into a relationship, his guru took him and said, no, go to that ashram in that place. Oh, relationship started, take him, put him in another ashram. Oh, it's a relationship started, now go to New York and teach everybody how to meditate. Okay.
7
He has a very, very powerful guru, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi.
Guru is Shaniva, isn't it? His Guru. Ninth one.
Yes.
But the
But Shani we said, wants to marry.
Shani is where the Upapada's lord is this sign.
Same.
He can have also other gurus, right? You can. It's possible. His guru has a strong Mars on Lagna.
Right.
That's why Mars is not.
Years
The root
ago.
of the ninth house is here in Aries. The Lord is Mars here.
7th house in 12 is.
Seventh Lord in 12th house.
Yes, in Kendra give a lot desire about
Yes.
the relationship. That is love, no?
Correct. You're right.
More 6 can to be
So-
celibate.
So now what happens? Two fellows want to give marriage. One is Saturn, the other Lord of Upara is Rahu. During Saturn Mahadasha, he tried desperately but couldn't. Why can't Saturn win? Because of Sun and Moon. Saturn is not just fighting Mars, Sun and Moon are joined. So he has to also fight Sun and Moon. Who can take care of Sun and Moon? Can Rahu take care of them? Why not?
Sun
Rahu
and
can
Moon
eclipse
are
both of
Tithi?
them.
Yeah.
Rahu can eclipse both Sun and Moon, right? He causes eclipse. Rahu cannot fight Jupiter, but he can fight Sun and Moon. So, when Rahu came about and became strong, then he got married. I think I have here. At 43, Rahu got into the picture. Then after 43, he started a Venus Dasha, I think it was. Then he got married. Saturn is 36. So from 36 to 43, he was fighting to get married. At 43, then Rahu came into the picture. Or was it 45, right? 45? When 45 started, now he could get married. But he didn't get married at that age. He waited until this Dasha, Jupiter-Venus. It was Jupiter-Venus, and he got married. I can just see when that is. It was Venus Dasha, Venus Antardasha, he was 52.
Bless you.
52.
If you are Diego,
I'm going to take a small break.
Small, just small.
vamos.
What? Vamos.
Isn't this interesting?
Ah,
We'll
This
see
Shatari.
the next chapter is after this.
ah, yeah.
Not this, next one.
Okay, okay.
It's on? Ah, a small secret. Friday during Pisces Lagna is the best muhurta for marriage.
What?
Friday during
Friday during Meena Lagna, best muhurta for marriage. Wow. If you can pull it off, that means no grahas in 8th house. When in doubt, Friday, Pisces Lagna.
Wait, that's the...
But was it no graphas in age?
But that leaves you just a 2-hour window, doesn't it?
That's enough.
If you can make
It's
it...
enough to go to the city
You
hall
go to
and
the, you
or
go to
to
the
the
free.
church.
Come on.
Sturdy sometimes.
Maybe. So then what to do?
Pick another Friday.
This is not for comfort. This is for good marriage.
Why is it so good, Guruji?
Because Venus gets exalted in
Exalted in-
Pisces.
Yes.
So you use the hora of Pisces because it's Venus is important.
Sort of, yes.
So what
Sign
if-
with which Venus gets exalted.
So what if you have exalted Venus and Pisces hora on a Friday?
During Pisces Lagna.
Yeah.
Perfect. Life is good.
So there's only 1 month a year where you can actually pull that off.
No, Wagner.
No, exalted Venus as well.
If you want that,
Well,
yes.
if
But
you're
please, this is... You can do that. Yes, Venus will be in only that sign for 1 month. Now I've told you, Friday during Pisces Lagna is a really good muhurta for marriage. This we call the default muhurta if you can't find any muhurta. Or it is very urgent. Friday, Pisces Lagna. Go.
But it need not be the best. Because you have to
You
consider.
can have other variations.
No, but you still have to consider the charts of the two people, no?
Yes. Other muhurtas for marriage. Preferably the month of marriage is in Kendra to your Ketu in Navamsha and spouse's Ketu in Navamsha.
Ketu.
Yes.
Who's
The month of marriage should have Sun
Sun?
in Kendra to Ketu in your Navamsha or Ketu in your spouse's Navamsha. Actually, both it should be.
Wow.
For example, if in one chart Ketu is in Capricorn Navamsha, and in the other chart, you see this. In the other chart, Ketu is in Leo Navamsha. They are both different. So how can the sun be in Kendra during that time? Not possible. One is in movable sign, the other one is in fixed sign. So when should marriage happen? Dual signs. If they're both different, choose the other sign. If they're the same, same sign.
Same or Kendra? Or Kendra?
Hey, same or Kendra, yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
For example, again, I'll take it one more time.
No, what is the rule?
Let's say two people. There's a couple. One has Ketu in, movable Navamsha. The other one has Ketu, also in a movable Navamsha. Then marriage must happen when Sun is in a movable sign. Okay, same. But, what if they're different? For example, one has Ketu in a movable sign. The other has Ketu in a fixed sign, in Navamsha. They're both, one is movable, one is fixed. Choose the dual sign, which is Kendra to neither. That gives good marriage, very good marriage. If marriage happened when the sun was in Kendra to Ketu in the husband's chart, but not the wife's chart, then it will give lots of spirituality, but may not give children or wealth.
Wow, you really have to be careful when choosing these marriage months.
I just said the month, right? If the sun is in Kendra to the wife's Ketu in Navamsha, in the marriage month, that means sun's transit, then there will be lots of children, lots of prosperity from career, wealth will be there, comforts will be there in life, zero spirituality and dharma.
There'll be a lot of adharma then.
Ethics out the window. Some of those children may not be yours. Optimum solution. Both should be there. So, based on that, I have given you the principles. Prefer Kendra to both or Kendra to neither. That is the marriage month. If you want to marry and you don't want kids and you just want to focus on spirituality, choose Kendra to husband's Ketu in Navamsha. That is the solution. Okay. Because husband is like the sun and wife is like the moon. Next. Marriage day. Prefer Thursday or Friday. Do not marry on a Tuesday.
Jupiter, Venus, alright?
Do not marry on a Tuesday.
How about Sunday?
Saturday.
Sundays, maybe not so good an idea also.
Mostly are choosing Saturday.
That is not
Yeah.
advisable. I know.
In
I
my
know.
country
Many
as
people
well.
choose Saturdays. It is not among the advisable days. Wednesday also has its flaws when it comes to marriage. So I will tell you quite strictly, choose Thursday or Friday. Choose a lagna where no planets are in 8th house. If you cannot make any other muhurta rule, there should be no planet in 8th house. This is the first and most important rule of muhurta.
What about 50th house?
I only will say no planets in 8th house. See, stick to the rules and you cannot go wrong. If you do this by the tradition, you cannot go wrong. Even people who want to break their marriage cannot break their marriage if you do this right.
But that's not good.
May I say something? There are those guys from TM, Maharishi tradition, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi tradition, they say it's much more important the muhurta of the marriage than the compatibility of the two persons.
You could infer that. I don't know. A good muhurta can solve many problems in a relationship.
This is Jaimini.
Yes,
Sorry?
we are in Jaimini course, and Jaimini
No,
has a different view.
I'm just
He
saying.
says the two of them must come together to take care of their debts towards the rishis. How do we ensure that they're cleaning the debt towards the rishis? Rule number 1: no planets in 8th house by any standard. This is for all muhurtas that you want to end, or that you don't want to end.
Any Muhurta.
Yeah. If you have a loan in the bank, put all grahas in 8th house. You can end quickly.
If you want it to end, of course.
If you want it to end, lots of grahas in 8th. We have practical experience of that. It works very well.
For Muhurta for what?
Taking the loan.
For taking a loan.
So, no grahas in 8th house means not ending. Second rule. See, number 1 rule is 8th house. Number 2 rule. If you cannot meet number 1 rule, forget number 2 rule. Okay. Number 1 rule is more important than all the other rules. It's really, I mean, what use is it to have every other aspect of marriage if it's going to break, right? Might as well strengthen number 1 rule, unless you think it's good for it to break. That's up to you to decide. Number 1 rule is most important. Now, number 2 rule.
What is the time of the marriage? Signing?
No.
It can be. Depends on where you want to marry.
Can it be getting out of the house maybe? To get married?
No.
Official
No.
ceremony when you say yes, yes.
Let us say the couple wants to only marry in the municipality. Okay? Let's say that. If that is their only marriage, then the time when they sign is their marriage time. Let us say the couple has not married in the municipality, but they have a contract from the municipality which makes it valid from the day they marry in church. You can have that. They do that here. They get the municipality to agree that they are getting married, and then they go to church and get married on the day that is agreed in the municipality. They do that. If they say they want to marry in church, not in municipality. You can get married in municipality also. So, if you're going to church to get married, it is when you say I do. Or rather, I'm sorry, my mistake, when the marriage ceremony starts. The priest will do a prayer, they will light a lamp, they will do something like that, light a candle, they will do something. At that time when they do start that, marriage ceremony is started, that must be the muhurta.
No, they start playing that the tune on the.
Yes, in some cases it's that, the music, yes. Yes. That should be the muhurta starting. That's the lagna.
But in city hall it is signing the papers.
Yes. My advice, you are good astrologers, there'll be all sorts of complications with this. Tell the couple, go there, light a candle when you're starting the lagna.
In
What?
church.
Go there and light a candle. Whether it be church, whether it be in the municipality, light a candle. Or light a lamp.
This is the most important point.
Yes, I'm serious.
So in the mayor's office, you bring a lamp.
Yes. Don't be practical. Understand what is the significance of this. It's your marriage. You don't want to have to wait for the mayor who's stuck in his office for 45 minutes for God knows which reason. Okay, be practical.
Light a lamp at the house and like for the ceremony maybe.
Oh, that is
Too
an
much?
interesting idea. I think it's too much. I don't know. I wish. Okay. Yes?
May I ask this Ketu thing in Navamsha, how does that refer to the marriage, this Rajasic thing all
Why?
around? Yeah.
Ah, yes. Ketu, kulasya unnitim. It has to do with the family. Is the family staying together? Is the family able to stay together for the purpose of repaying the debts to the rishis? Most important faculty of marriage is repaying the debt to the rishis. If the couple is, let's say, not at an age to have children, assume. Because rishis also means you should have children. You could be helping another child raised, contributing to the food and welfare of another child. The couple should have that opportunity if they're not having children of their own, whether it be through adoption or actually helping another child to be raised. Maybe a lady comes into one's life and oneself already has a child, or vice versa. A lady has a child and a man comes into her life. That man or that other lady who's not the biological father is now helping with the raising of that child. She should get that opportunity through the Rishi's blessings. Because if she does that, she'll repay her debt to the Rishis. You got it? Rule number 2. The house, which is the significant house for this muhurta, in this case 7th house, should be empty. No grass. I consider this rule a bit chauvinistic and discriminative in marriage. You know why? Because Lagna of the Muhurta is the wife. 7th house in the Muhurta is the husband. If grahas are in 7th house, it means there's nobody interfering with the wife. There's no other relationship with the wife. But if grahas are on Lagna, it means the husband may have relationships outside marriage. I do not agree with this rule completely, therefore, and say preferably 1st and 7th are empty. But you may not be so privileged.
No,
I don't want to hear anything. Listen to me only. Enough excuses. But you can understand some peculiarities about this rule. So I say this normally. If you have to put planets in 1st or 7th, make them nice planets.
Unaffected benefits, for example.
Huh?
Unaffected benefits, for example.
Yes.
Jupiter,
Yes.
preferably.
Yes.
Chandra, maybe.
Chandra works very nicely.
Shup-
3rd rule. The Karaka of the Muhurta should be well placed. Karaka for this marriage is Venus, first and foremost. Best case scenario, he's alone. But that's very rare with Venus. Very rare. So, next best scenario, he is in a good house, like Kendra. So which are the good Kendras? 4th house and 10th house? Could even be in 5th house, right? 9th house, it's a good house also. Yes.
Fierce, good
Fourth.
house.
4th is okay.
Karaga,
5th, 9th is okay.
Fourth would be very good because it is Digbala, right?
Yes, best. It's 4th. Next rule. Moon should be alone and unafflicted.
For all muhurtas.
All Muhurta moon should be alone and unafflicted.
Guruji, this leaves a very narrow window for this kind of moon.
That's why I say, if you follow the tradition, you can't go wrong. You won't have many choices, and that choice you find is the best. If moon is clean, your mind is clean. Life is good. Life is sweet. Let your life be sweet. After this, if you can figure out a way to work with tittis and yogas and karanas and nakshatras, that's up to you. Follow these rules, you can't go wrong. This is most important.
Wow.
Okay?
good titi, good lover,
If
good.
you can, okay. This must be there. If this is there, then you have the privilege to find everything else. If it's not there,
Titi, good relationship for house.
What is the worst titis, for example? Amavasya?
Amavasya.
Ekadashi is not recommended.
Chaturdashi, no way.
Shasti is not recommended. Krishna Chaturdashi is not recommended.
Aha, da. Yeah.
Amavasya is also.
No Amavasya. Not even by
It's even weak.
not even
Chandra.
by a little bit is Amavasya recommended. Not even a chance should we recommend Amavasya.
So
It
I
means
was-
there's no emotion in the relationship. That's Amavasya. Don't ever choose Amavasya.
No.
So full moon thing.
Full moon is for sadhus. Your wife will renounce and go to monastery. Don't choose full moon.
But Shukla Chaturdashi then implies that it's
Shukla Chaturdashi is alright. It's not bad.
What is the best tithi?
All the others.
Have you got 9?
Okay, some advice about these tithis. Please ensure you got the rest right.
Yeah.
Okay, those 4 rules there are more important than the tithis on first hand. But Amavasya is not recommended. Purnima, no chance. Krishna Chaturdashi, we also call it Naraka Chaturdashi, going to hell. Don't use that.
Krishna Chaturdashi.
Yeah, don't choose that. Now, there's some odd things in this. Some people say never choose the 4th tithi, 9th tithi or 14th tithi. Some people say this. Now I'll tell you that this is a bit odd because the 14th tithi,
Ganesh.
Shukla Chaturdashi, we know that is that's very much a lot of light. So, but it's not recommended. Now I'll tell you why it's not recommended, then you can make a decision. These 3 tithis are supposed to be rikta tithis. Rikta. That means they're very dry. They don't have much water in them. They're not able to procreate. They're not able to produce. What actually happens if you choose these is the sexual attraction in the couple goes down. You choose these, the sexual desire and attraction in the couple goes down. When would you ever choose this? If it's already very high. If you have 2 couples where you think if they marry, they'll spend all their time at home, the guy will never go to work. He'll call in sick every day for the first year. Or for the lady for that matter. The jala is very high in a relationship, then you can use these to calm it down. Otherwise, in normal relationships, you don't do this. In normal relationships, you keep them free from that. Why should they be burdened by that? Is it necessary? Understand what I'm saying?
For example, they are not married but long time relationship.
Yes.
So, which is the beginning?
Hmm?
Which is the beginning? What is the beginning?
For the
Of
relationship.
the relationship. I
Yeah.
mean, when was the muhurta starting?
Yes.
Well, did they have a ceremony? Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. Did they just choose, oh, we'll live together and that's it? Then maybe it could be the time when one moved in with the other.
What if they did not live together?
If they didn't live together in a relationship for all this time, let's say years, then what muhurta was there? They're not even in a vivaha, per se. Okay, maybe vivaha, but not really upapada marriage. But then you can give them a muhurta. Yes. By using these rules and doing it. And say, okay, now go to mosque or church or somewhere.
For example,
Go to-
10 years passed and they came to me as a client.
And they want to
Can
see.
can I have a chance to make a muhurta?
Yes, you
If
can.
10 years passed.
You can be married and make new muhurtas during the marriage. Every 5 years I'm getting married.
Oh.
Oh, I'm married once, then I go and I get renewed my vows.
Maybe 5.
Every 5 years I go and renew the vows. That's a
Why
standard
5 years?
principle. It's a good number. Okay? Yoga happens every 5 years. Yoga happens every 5 years.
Which yoga?
And it's based on the lesson you learned on the 5 types of year. Vatsara, Ida Vatsara, Paravatsara, Samvatsara, what's the last one called? Idvatsara. Okay? no anuvatsara. Those 5 years are there. Every 5 years the yoga is renewed. So, every 5 years it's good to renew your yoga with somebody. Then you have to draw a new muhurta every 5 years. Person's having problems in marriage, you open the muhurta and you see, add muhurta, okay, go, renew your vows at this time, this date, everything. After this you will have the kids you have not had for the last 2, 3 years, 5 years, 6 years. Smart day. Because maybe they married at a time where the month was bad, based on the first principle. You look at the muhurta, you see month is bad. Tell them, okay, go renew your vows at this month, this day, this time. They'll suddenly have kids.
What about Indian weddings?
You can renew your vows also there.
You have to get registered.
Yes, but that registry is not valid unless the wedding has been made, done.
Mm.
And there have to be witnesses to that also.
Mm.
That's there. The wedding actually and the
registration.
ceremony. Not registration, ceremony.
So,
Like you can go to court in India and say, the puja was not done properly. You can go there and say that. Therefore the registration is not valid. They say, okay, you have witness to that? Yes, witness, done. It's not valid. You can do that in India.
just in the UK, sometimes you have to get your registration separately in an English court and the Indian wedding separately. What do you do in that situation?
Yes, I don't know how the law works there.
Mm.
But I would still use the ceremony in front of God as the means to just justify the time of marriage. I always use that. But be sure you register before you have the ceremony. Because then anyway, that ceremony is like renewal.
Mm.
See that? With this one. Okay, now let's see this.
Imam Jari Imam Jari.
Let's do it. But then women only counts for half a witness.
My God. Enough. Alright. Let's see this chant. Where's Upapada?
Papada is in 4,000.
I should tell you Dharakaraka also, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You need to know the whole...
And what is Atmakaraka as well?
Yes. There is that chant.
I'll ask your way of pronouncing it.
Upapada.
Oh, Papada.
Atmakaraka is Rahu and moon is Dharakaraka. So,
Yes.
Rahu Atmakaraka
6.
is in 8th house from Lagna.
Yes. 6.
Moon Dharakaraka in 6th house from Lagna. In Navamsha,
6.
Dharakaraka is in 6th from Atmakaraka. Poses a problem, basically. Now, is Venus in 12th house in Navamsha? No.
It's in
It's
6.
in 6th house, so it's not her problem, it's the spouse's problem. Okay? Dharakaraka. Now, what else? We have to look at 12th house for moon, right? 12th house for moon is Libra. Libra is loaded by Venus. Venus is in 7th. This is
No,
not-
no,
this is not Libra.
No.
So what are you doing?
Mars is the Lord in Libra. Oh, there's a link to Libra. Okay.
Come on, you're just lucky.
Okay, so Mars is in 4th house. And is joined Upapada in 4th house. It doesn't pose any serious issue I see from this chart. Do you see that? This is an okay Mars, right? Okay. Is Mars following Jupiter and 2nd house from Jupiter in any way?
No,
No.
No.
it doesn't.
Lord is Mars. Lord of 2nd house is Mars.
Okay.
It will cause a problem. It will. I'm sorry, but it will. Jupiter and Pisces, Mars, Lord 7th house, it will cause some hurdles in marriage. Specifically, it will not give a serious interest in having kids. It will not. This person does not have children. She does not. And Mars is on the Upapada. So who is it who doesn't want kids?
Husband.
Husband doesn't want kids. Ah.
Mars
Okay.
is also Mars in 7th in Navamsha.
Hmm?
Mars is also in 7th down in Navamsha.
Yes, so this partner doesn't want kids. Now let's
And
see.
it is Lord in 2nd from.
Will this relationship turn into marriage? Lord of Upapada must be strong. Is it?
Weak in Navamsha.
It's weak in Navamsha, exactly.
Lord is Venus, placed in 7th house, which is okay. She's serious about it. She wants this. But in Navamsa it's in Marnakarakstana, correct. They did not get married formally. Second house they're from is lorded by Mars. Is Mars well placed in Rashi or Navamsa?
Navamsha it's in Marana Karakastan.
So relationship cannot sustain itself. This
But-
marriage will break. This relationship will break.
But second Upada is, sorry,
Ah yes, next.
second Upada is much better.
Second Upapada is in Taurus.
Second
Lord is
from
Venus again.
Is Mithuna.
So has she learned her lesson from the first time? Where's Venus in Navamsha? Over here.
Oh, Tula. Shukra is lording it.
What?
It is in trines to the second relationship in Navamsha. Shukra
Venus
lording
is in trines to
Rashi
what?
is
Is
to-
Venus in trines to? Venus isn't, what are you saying? Okay, let's do Venus. Let's, this is important. We're mentioning something very important. The second Upapada is in Taurus.
It's in trines.
Venus is in ninth therefrom. That means this is a really serious love relationship. Very strong. Venus is also in trines to second house, isn't it? Which is second spouse. So from Rashi and Navamsa, serious love relationship is happening. Very, very serious. She'll be deeply in love with this person. Now, for Taurus, Venus can indicate the relationship or Moon can indicate the relationship, right? So this Venus in Marnakarakstana need not be the end of the story. Where's Moon?
Very good.
Moon is exalted in ninth house. Correct. This became a long-term formal relationship, registered partnership, whatnot. Okay.
Okay.
So now we have to see how long it will last. Second therefrom is Gemini. Oh, hold on. Gemini.
Happy times
Problem.
outside.
What?
Having fun times outside.
Okay. Is Mercury well placed?
No,
Why? What's wrong?
it's in 8th house. Okay, the house itself is not the problem as much as it's afflicted by Rahu,
Marana Karana.
Surya,
Diego got it.
And-
Marnakarakstana in Navamsha.
and Rahu Surya affliction.
And Rahu Surya affliction. This is a problem, all right. You think you found somebody else, Gemini?
He did, but how would you decide if it was him who found somebody else and not her?
Yes, you have a good point. Good point. How do we decide?
Just by Mithuna placed in 12 from her Lagna, it can be her or
Okay,
what?
okay. Let's see. Let's see. Ah. Where do we see this? Where is the Darapada? Darapada is over here.
In
So this is
11th,
the same guy. So she has Srimanta Yoga with him, and everything is good and fine in the world.
except she has to renounce her Aruda because Aruda is also
Yes, either she works or he works. Right, good point. Now, secondly from Gemini. This is 12th house from Lagna. 12th house indicates spouse. So spouse is responsible for maintaining marriage. Did she make a decision in this regard? Yes. The Lord of Lagna is here, aspecting here. So she decides to break this. Because she doesn't like what's going on here. But there's nothing here showing that she was the one who had the affair. No. It doesn't show.
just because Mithuna is in 12th.
This is the spouse, right? 12 from Lagna's spouse.
Okay.
So who's responsible for breaking?
But if that was in some other bar, for example, if second form was in 11th house,
Then you
from
can't
Lagna.
say. Then friends say, now you should break it. Okay, for example. Okay, after this Upapada comes, which one?
Sashidanis.
Here, Sagittarius. This is 6th house from Lagna. Correct? So, in seeing the Lagna of this person, you have to see it from the opposite sign. Because 6th house, you will not marry Lagna of 6th house. If you do, it's like starting a curse. Okay? You will not marry the Lagna of your 6th house. If you do, it's starting a curse. Only bad marriages come from marrying somebody whose Lagna is in your 6th house or in your 8th house. As Sandeep is calculating.
What?
A curse can come if you marry somebody whose Lagna is your 6th house or your 8th house. Can come. It's a problem. Either it happens in the relationship or it's external.
¿Y la bimuca? No, don't work.
I have not seen this be different for our people. I have not seen it be different. Also where Saturn is placed. It can be good if, let's say, Jupiter is placed there. For example, Jupiter is well placed there. Lagna Lord I've seen also well placed there. Okay.
Saturno. Espada.
See, Saturn is bad for most people, but if your Lagna Lord is Saturn, then it's not a problem. Okay. Now where were we? Next Upapada was in Sagittarius. We will see what happens in the marriage with Sagittarius, but we'll see the Lagna from the opposite sign. So
And
we'll see trines to that, correct. Or which we'll ignore Aquarius and stick to here. So it's either these two Lagnas. Now in Sagittarius, what's going on there? Is Jupiter well placed as the Lord?
Yes. 5 house, but Nietzsche.
In Rashi, it's in own sign. In 9th house. In Navamsha, it's Nietzsche in 5th house. The problem with Nietzsche is the relation may continue because of the house. But Nietzsche means you're not marrying again.
5 house.
You're spending time with this person, long time, years, but you're not marrying. Okay? So you need to give it Nietzsche Banga in Navamsha. How will you do that? Who is exalted in Capricorn? Mars. Is Mars in Kendra to Lagna?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes. Moon gets Sorry. Who gets exalted in Cancer? Jupiter himself.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the lord of this sign? Moon. Is Moon in Kendra? No, but he's exalted. So half. He can give. Finally, who's the lord of the sign of debilitation?
Venus.
Shani.
Jupiter.
Jupiter's the lord of the sign is Saturn, right?
Yes.
So we have Lord Saturn, Lord Moon, and the one who exalts here, Mars. Saturn, Moon, Mars can give Jupiter Nietzsche Banga. Okay.
Saturn is exalted in
Saturn is in 11th house in Cancer. Nothing is. Moon is exalted, Mars is in Kendra, but Mars is in Marna Karksthana. So this is not saving. So then this only Moon is left.
But
And this Moon is in 9th house, so her Guru has to help her.
the
The Guru
Lord,
can give a mantra.
the Lord in exaltation,
Lord of
Or the root.
exaltation,
Venus.
Lord of exaltation, Lord of debilitation. See, Jupiter's Nietzsche here.
But Saturn.
Yes.
We needed to check if the Lord is the Lord of the exaltation is Lord.
We need to see the Lord of exaltation.
Yeah.
What? It's
To see if it's in Kendra from Lagna
Yeah.
or well placed.
Hmm.
We need to see the Lord of debilitation to see if it's in Kendra from Lagna or well placed.
Mm.
And finally, the planet who is exalted in the debilitation sign, whether he is in Kendra to Lagna or well placed. Of which we had Lord Saturn in 11th house. Nothing. It's neither in Kendra nor well placed. Lord Moon, Trikona. Exalted though. That's good. The one who gets exalted in the debilitation sign is Mars. He's in Kendra, but in Marna Karksthana. So Moon is the only one who can save. So that Nietzsche is not Nietzsche Banga really.
For example, Sun, Mars will be safe.
Why checked in Navamsha?
Mars will be safe.
Yeah.
But it's Marnakarstan, right?
But only one rule. The Capricorn, the Lord is Saturn.
Yes.
The other rule is if Lord exalt in Libra. This Lord, Libra, Venus, will be in Kendra to the moon or the Lagna. Okay?
Moon. Ah.
Venus.
Lord,
Yes, Venus. But
Venus.
why Venus in this context?
Saturn is exalt in Libra.
Uh-huh. But Venus does not give Jupiter Nietzsche.
It gives to Saturn
It gives it to Saturn, not to Jupiter.
and to
Right? Correct.
so
Yes, but other rules I don't know.
Only 3 graphs can give.
Mm.
Lord of
Why are-
exaltation, Lord of debilitation, planet who is exalted in the debilitation
In the-
sign. So this sign is Capricorn. Who
Mars.
gives it? Mars.
Yes, Mars.
So Mars, Moon, Saturn.
Mars.
You have a good point though. When we talk about Mahaprusha, we'll use some of those other things you've learned.
Yes.
Here it is, Lord of exaltation, Lord of debilitation, planet gets exalted in the debilitation sign. These same planets can cause an exalted planet to have Rajbanga, Uchabanga.
Nichavanga, yes.
This is Nichabanga I'm referring to, but let's say Moon over here.
Uh,
Moon is exalted in Taurus. Who's Lord of this sign? Venus.
mm.
Who's Lord of debilitation sign? Mars. So Venus and Mars are responsible for Moon staying exalted. So let's see Venus, 6th house Marnakarksthana. Let's see Mars, 7th house Marnakarksthana. So what moon is this? Fallen moon. So don't ignore Uchabanga. This moon is nothing in this chart. Cannot maintain his exaltation. And if he cannot maintain his exaltation, how will he save Jupiter? We said Moon, Mars and Saturn have to save Jupiter. And I just said Moon is not saving him because the whole reason he was supposed to save was because he was exalted. Had he been in Kendra, fine. But he's in exaltation, so I must see, is he really exalted? So which dasha is very bad for this chart? Mars. Because Mars will defeat Jupiter and defeat Moon in one shot. And he's in Marnakarksthana in 7th house. You got it? It's
Why-
complicated, I know. This is complicated. You should just be sticking to Jupiter is debilitated. It is Lord of the Upapada, so it's difficult to get married. Moon is trying to get this one Jupiter married, and he himself is having problems doing that. So this was Sagittarius. What happens in second therefrom?
Venus.
Venus. The Venus in second from Upapada. You have to maintain the relationship by ensuring that there's lots of romance and love and affection, and that usually calms down after 1 year of marriage. So if you're not attentive, this Venus will go and find some other Venus.
Why Venus is, oh okay, moon is a, got it.
This is Upapada, second from has Venus.
And this moon and Lord of the moon sign Jupiter is well placed. A7 with the Ruda Lagna is in Taurus, Lording moon. Moon is well placed. So I'm talking about the Rashi.
Yes, yes,
Moon,
yes.
Jupiter in Kendra, they're all
What
well
happened-
placed.
what-
That Upapada looks fine. I mean,
Wait. Why were you referring to Taurus?
Kendra to each other.
This is in Kendra to this?
No.
No, Kendra to each other. I said
AL
the
and A7.
moon and the Lord of the moon sign Jupiter is in 9th,
Ah.
in Kendra to each other.
Yes.
And both are connected. Moon is connected to A7
Yes, yes.
and Ruda Lagna. There, so it looks like this Upapada could be is supported.
It is a good relationship, but because Jupiter is debilitated in Navamsa, Navamsa always dominates, Dharmamsa. So it means even though this is a lasting relationship, the problem is they are not actually formally married. If the Upapada itself is weak, you cannot say they are formally married. You cannot say it's a relationship which has been blessed properly. Okay? God has not come in here. And it's really important to point this out in Navamsa because it shows where you can get punished for adharma in last line.
How?
Why a planet debilitated is punishing you?
Yeah.
Any planet in Navamsha shows your dharma in the last line, and for which fortune you will experience in this life. So If the planet is debilitated here, it means you committed adharma in last life and you will have misfortune in this life. Therefore, if you run a dasha where the lord of that sign, who's the dasha, is debilitated in Navamsha, the dasha is very difficult.
If the Dasha Lord
Is
is
debilitated in Navamsha.
I don't experience that.
What is your card, Narayan Dasha?
Narayana Dasha. Ah, you got me on that one. I apologize and withdraw
Narayan
my.
Dasha.
I don't feel that.
Should we look the Jupiter's Narayan Dasha? No,
We look
Aquarius. No, no.
Pisces. Pisces or Sagittarius. They are loaded by Jupiter.
So let's say it's a moon in Navamsha and it's a blessed ninth house exalted. So we go back to Rashi and see this moon is her third Upapada. She loved it Upapada.
Definitely.
That's her.
Actually, there's a bit of a predicament. When you say love, Venus,
Lagna
this is a
love.
12 from Venus.
So it will not be loved.
Sorry?
Sorry, it will not be loved.
Hold on,
that
guys.
much.
Let's stick
As
to
you
the
expect.
point. See, moon is there. It's a very nice relationship. The guy is very nice, moon. Very charming. This is a lady's chart. This man is very charming, very nice. But the Lord Jupiter is going to decide whether this is a formal relationship or not. All I've said so far is Jupiter, the Lord, is debilitated here. It doesn't mean it won't be a long-lasting relationship. Even Venus is second from here will give some people who come from outside possible extramarital affairs. But the Lord Saturn will decide how long this relationship is going to last.
And he is in Drishti to Jupiter in Rashi.
That's also relevant. Saturn is the Lord in third house. Third house is a good sign for Saturn. It protects the relationship. In 11th house in the Navamsha, it's very good for the relationship. Brahmana, Drishti, everything. This relationship indicated by Saturn is nice. How long will it last? Count from Saturn in Rashi to Saturn in Navamsha. That is 12 years. 12 years relationship will be very strong, very good.
Do we take
After
this-
that, the
this
two will
se-
become independent and not pursue the relationship so much.
do we
But they will
count-
be there together.
Do we take the second lord of the Upapada
Always.
to count the years?
Always. If your second lord from Upapada is very strong, like exalted, then as many Vimshotri Dasha years that it has, as long will you be married. And intimately connected. That's how long the relationship is strong. If it is still not badly placed after this, then that relationship will continue, but it may not be so intimate after that.
But why did you count here the signs between Shani in Rashi and sign in Navamsha of Shani?
Because it's not that strong. So I don't see its Vimshotri years. Then I just see Navamsha years. It's not exalted. It's not an own sign. But it's not badly placed either. You're right in saying so.
Isn't it 11 years?
No, but it's few.
11.
The 12, I'd say. 11 is right, but 12. 11, 12.
Because it's 11 of
Good point. Good point. I will not disagree with you. 11 years is probably right.
To get back to the previous point, I'm running Sagittarius in my Narayan Dasha.
Yes?
And Guru is Nietzsche.
Yes. So you'll have to do remedies for Guru.
I haven't,
Okay, you sure?
but I'm doing fine.
Yes. Good. When did it start?
In February.
February this year.
Huh?
Very good.
Well, it don't work.
Very good.
This Narayana Dasha don't work well.
I don't know. Maybe it's working. You're feeling fine, you're good, correct? You should.
Absolutely okay.
Is Jupiter getting Nietzsche Banga?
From
Well,
Mars,
not
Hmm?
sure.
Okay. Next chart. Let's stick to Upapada.
When I'm counting, it must
He
be
is
3
getting
years
Nichaban.
where each time.
For who? You?
Yes.
We'll get to your chart later.
He's getting
Personal
Nichaban, he
consultations
has
are for
Rushak.
later, and they also cost money. Now, this is the chart of a lady who was told, how old is she now? She's born in 52, right? Is this the chart?
Yes. 50.
No, it's like now.
No,
Aries
no.
like now.
No, it's now.
59.
59.
Yes, 59 I put in. This is
29.
the chart, correct?
Who's that?
I don't know, it's in
Yeah,
Diego's.
this is the chart.
Ah,
Diego has brought a chart of a lady called Anna. Anna has been recently told by her husband that the husband wants a divorce.
2 days.
2 days back.
Half.
for what reasons?
We'll have to see.
My
Let's see
friend,
the chart.
this is the chart.
So,
You were and
first, what's Dara Karaka? I'll just tell you. Moon. Atma Karaka, Rahu.
59 years of age. 59.
No, born,
Born.
in 59.
Born in 59. Well, that's almost the same.
Yes.
But that also makes her 59.
Hmm?
That also makes her 59.
Dara Gaga.
Mm.
What is
I forgot all the
Dara
names.
Atma?
Let me see. Dara Karaka is Moon, Atma Karaka is Rahu, isn't it? Oh, no.
No.
It's a second. Here. Dara Karaka is Mars, Atma Karaka is Moon. Dara Karaka Mars, Atma Karaka Moon. Lagna is Aries. Dara Karaka is in 3rd house. Alright, no problem. Where is Mars in Navamsha?
Yes.
Over here in Libra. Atma Karaka is in Sagittarius. They're not badly placed from each other.
No.
No.
Venus is not in 12th house in Navamsha. It lords, but is nicely placed in 4th house in Digbala and Navamsha. Okay? Venus is also in Lagna and Rashi. It's a very nice chart.
She's a pretty lady.
Yeah.
The 12th lord from Moon is Venus in Lagna. This person is destined to get a nice marriage because of her good character, good appearance.
Good parent.
Yes, very nice lady. In fact, it's become strengthened because her name starts with A. A is in
Yes,
Aries.
yes.
So Venus has become very strong over there in Aries.
Whole clouds, whole house very clean.
Very clean.
Clean
it's
like
very
the
nice,
house.
very good person. Any good things about
Practice
this chart.
yoga. Without child.
Without child, we'll get to
Yes.
it all right.
Sun, 12th house.
Jupiter is 9th lord and is placed in 8th house with Moon in Marnakaksthana.
Yeah.
There
Saturn.
can be issues in having children.
Yeah.
But she wants children because Mars is not in the 2nd from Jupiter or in any way connected to the
Yeah.
following signs from Jupiter.
Yeah.
So he is a person who's quite serious about relationships
Yeah.
and marriage and family.
Yeah.
Okay. So then,
I
what
think-
else should we see? The 7th lord from Venus is Venus, and Venus is still there. So marriage and all the good relationships of life are guaranteed in this case. Okay. Nice person, good relationships. Uppapada
I don't know.
is in Cancer.
Nietzsche.
Uppapada is in Cancer.
Pero,
Now hold on. I have not told you, but you must also look at the 12th house in any chart. You must look at the 12th house.
So, yeah.
Because the 12th house is going to decide. Like Uppapada came from 12th house. So whatever the Uppapada is, the 12th house is going to decide whether that likes it or not. This person has Mercury, Ketu and Sun in 12th house. So Ketu, Sun and Mercury will decide what is a proper Uppapada, what is a good Uppapada, and what's a bad one. Ketu is there, so Ketu will dominate over all the others. Nodes always dominate.
no.
They always do. So Ketu is going to decide. Who does Ketu not like?
Sure.
Hmm?
Mercury.
He doesn't like Mercury. He doesn't like
Venus.
Venus. He also doesn't like Moon. He eclipses the Moon. Even though he likes Moon, he eclipses him. Okay. He likes everybody else. So let's see. Also, Ketu in 12th house from Uppapada. From Lagna. Ketu in 12th house from Lagna. First 3 years of any relationship or marriage will be very difficult. Lots of arguments. Lots of bickering, nagging. And the remedy is worship Uchista Ganapati. Uchista, Uchi. And the relationship problems will go away. If you have Ketu in 12th house. If Ketu is not in 12th house, then see if it has a relationship with 7th house. If it does, also worship Uchista Ganapati. This will be for all relationships. If Ketu is associated with the Upapada, then it's only that relationship. Herein, Ketu both on the Upapada and in second from Upapada will cause this. The most common issue will be misunderstandings. One partner will show lack of attention and the other partner will constantly be complaining.
If Ketu is on Upada.
In any of these scenarios. If it's on Upapada, then it will be in the first relationship only. On that Upapada only. After that you will not see it again. So, this person has Ketu in 12th house from Lagna. When will this problem go away? When will the problems of this bickering, arguing, misunderstandings go away? Is to be seen from Pisces. No matter the chart, the end of the Ketu problems will come from Pisces. It is only a coincidence that Ketu is in Pisces in this chart. It will be based on the age of Pisces. I hope you're going to remember this because I'm not going to repeat this. Write it down if you don't know it. It is being recorded. But I won't repeat it. You can go scroll through that recording if you like. Get this right. The end of the Ketu problems will come from Pisces, only Pisces. And the age of Pisces will be the year. Okay?
Yeah.
So that be the year. For example, Pisces is lorded by Jupiter. So after 3 years of marriage. But if planets are in Pisces, this will change. For example, if you're having problems from Ketu and Mercury is in Pisces, then you will have to reach the age of 33, then the problems stop. If Rahu is in Pisces, you have to reach the age of 45 before they stop. If Ketu, then 42. If more planets are there, you simply add the years together. And which years? You'll use Vimshotri years. Okay. So in this chart, Pisces is having Ketu. So the Ketu problems will end after Ketu's year, 42. Sun is also there. How many years is Sun? 50.
20.
You cannot add 42 and 50, that's crazy. So what will you do now? Vimsho 3 years.
7 plus.
So add 7 to 42. Ketu is the strongest. So add 7 to 42. 49. Plus Mercury.
Mercury is
56.
Mercury's 18.
66. 65, sorry. 65. So this person could have continuous problems with this until 65. Because Pisces is lorded by Jupiter, we normally advise to remove these problems, have kids early, have children early. This person is without children, which makes this predicament even bigger. Now see Upapada, keeping all this in mind. That 12th house is having a very important say in the relationship. Okay. Where's Upapada?
Cancer.
Cancer. Moon is the Lord. We said Ketu dominates 12th house. Will you like Moon?
No.
So even if they get married, that Moon will not survive long. Okay. Moon is the Lord in debilitation in Marnakakstana. This first Upapada will not manifest. Next. It is not uncommon that people have initial Upapadas. In the 4th house, it can be in relation to primary education. That's not unusual. Where's the second Upapada?
11th house.
Aquarius.
In the Aquarius. Does Ketu like Saturn? Yes. Does he like Rahu? No. So which is dominating, Saturn or Rahu?
Well, Saturn.
No, Rahu is
Because Kiki.
Muladrigona.
Hmm?
Rahu is in Muladrigona.
Rahu is in Murtrikona but in 6th house. Saturn is in Sagittarius, which is a good place.
Good place. And 11.
And in 9th house.
Nine.
But in 9th house it causes Adharma, over here it causes different problem. And Ketu and not Rahu. So maybe she married Saturn. Maybe she married Saturn. Is Saturn strong in Navamsa? Third house. That's good. Saturn third house is good. Okay. Okay. So maybe she married Saturn. Then second house they're from?
Ketu, Surya.
Pisces.
Pisces.
Ketu, Mercury and Sun are the problems in the marriage. Okay. Lord is Jupiter, so Jupiter will decide the length of marriage. How is Jupiter placed?
Good.
He's well placed. Is he?
Mm.
He's still
He's
joined
in
Moon in Marna
Parivartana also.
Karkstana and his ninth lord, which assured that she could not have children. So it's not good. No. The same Jupiter which did not give her children is the same which is going to goes cause problems in her marriage. So you can make a clear inference here. If she does not have children, the marriage will not survive. And it is so also that since Jupiter is lording second from Upapada, for the marriage to survive, children must be there. This is what is indicated.
But it's also in Parivartana with Ketu.
It's in Parivartana with Ketu. Oh, so Ketu decides now. Correct. Good. Good.
But again, continuing
But
language
that's
is,
even worse
is vital. No, if children are there, it's not.
because
But
she needs to have children.
Mm-hmm.
she needs to continue lineage.
Yes.
Lineage.
Lineage.
Lineage, sorry.
Ah. Now, can you tell us how many years she was married?
No.
You don't know.
Yeah,
She is about
10
59 now, is that right?
It's 7
10,
years.
10
maybe.
years, I think so.
10 years she's been
So,
married.
yeah.
Then I'd say 11.
Mm.
Why did I say 11?
Okay, again, Ketu
Because
is in,
Jupiter
but
is-
it's in who?
Jupiter is-
It's in
you count
Multrikona.
Jupiter from Jupiter.
It's in
You
11
can
from
count Jupiter.
Pisces.
If you also count Ketu, you'll get the same amount. See that?
Oh, yes.
But Ketu is here placed in Multrikona.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh, you mean so he should be giving 7 years, right?
But they did stay together, so what decided this counting?
Oh, well, I can use either and it'll anyway say show 11. If I use Jupiter, it's more clear. If I use Ketu, then I have to agree that Parivartana is actually dominating the relationship. And if I do that, then I say Ketu, which doesn't have a body, is dominating what's happening in the relationship. Which is a bit difficult when we talk about marriage because you actually need a real break. Okay? So if I take Jupiter, then it's alright, 11 years.
But
It
we
makes
count
sense.
in reverse and Ketu here. Count.
We don't count with Ketu in reverse, we count with Venus in reverse.
For counting years.
I have to teach you some of these Navamsa principles. Jupiter and Venus are opposite each other and they're the two gurus of Navamsa. Yeah. So 11 years. You think this marriage can survive? She's been told 2 days ago that man wants a divorce. What do you think? Should we tell her, yes, try to make it work? That's the most important consideration for the astrologer. Should you say, try and make it work? Or should you say, no, let it end? What do you think?
The transit of Sunny.
Shani is in second.
This is where your duty as an astrologer most of the time comes in.
Mm.
What should you tell the client?
Yes, but let's say a 50 years old woman have a child with him, what to adopt at those age? I mean,
Don't
yeah.
think in those terms. Is it a good relationship to be in? How do you see that? From Upapada itself, correct?
Yes.
So, Saturn is one of the lords. If we assume he's Saturn, who's dominating? We assume Rahu will not dominate because then it will already have been out. The relationship would have ended. So Saturn. So, Saturn is in the 9th house. Isn't that a good placement?
Except you said it's
Expected by
odd,
Mars. What did you say?
Mm.
What?
What did you say about Mars?
It's aspected by Mars.
Okay. And Ketu and Surya and Rahu.
Is she by any chance running a dasha related to Saturn or Mars?
Saturn.
Saturn dasha.
Moon Saturn.
Moon Saturn dasha.
Yes.
Right.
Without relation, without the relationship become cold. Saturn.
What will you tell her? Should she keep this Saturn in her life?
No.
Why?
Because of Mars and
Adharma,
Rahu.
first of all.
Mars and Rahu's drishti.
In
So-
9th house giving the unluck.
Good point.
And by the
This
way,
is
it's
correct.
Adharma.
Yes.
Very correct. But I'll tell you, Rahu and Ketu's Rashi drishti here is not the problem. It's Mars and this Saturn here which is the problem. Because it's Graha drishti on the 9th which causes problems with Bhagya. Rashi drishti, it's always been there. It's not new. So this Durbhagya is there and he, the partner, is bringing the Durbhagya. So as long as he's around, there'll be misfortune in her life. Okay. And for ladies, the 9th house is very important for their life.
Children.
For
For
child.
children.
It's not only children, it's her life.
Yes.
Her life is based on this Saturn. So therefore, we need some. I'll end after this chart. So therefore, should we advise her to stay? Tell her it is her good fortune that he is leaving now. Because misfortune is going away. That is the truth. That is what you should know what to say. Tell her, this is a good sign for her life. Her life is going to get better after the relationship goes. What will happen after this relationship? After this comes which Upapada?
Rahu.
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 Oh, that we cannot accept. We cannot. So it's not going to improve in matters of relationships. Okay, can we have more relationships after this? This will not work. Ketu is there. He won't even start. Forget getting started.
Marana Garana,
Yes, and
Mercury.
she has to sleep
After this
alone.
comes?
It's a Venus Lux.
After
Venus.
Very nice.
Tell her it's good fortune that this is going now. There'll be one more relationship which will be very short. Very short.
Wow.
Maximum 2 months. She will date. After that, she will meet a guy. What's this Mars? Mars is over there. It's good. Where's
Fine.
Mars here? Mars is here.
Yes, but how
Yes?
can you count something that lasts for only 2 months as a relationship?
She'll think about the guy for 1 year after that. That's what happens. Upapada does like that. And then comes Venus, and her life will be very sweet.
Well, then you cannot say 2
I
months.
don't think they will marry though, but life will be very good. Ah, yes. Very good. It's very nice. Second Herr Lord from here is Venus. Venus is placed here. He's also a little Hora-like. Only dilemma is Venus is debilitated. But debility will cause health problems to the spouse. It's otherwise in Kendra and it's joined Jupiter. So she'll have a lot of comfort from this. Tell her she'll meet a guy who has some health problem. He will be very nice, very sweet. Relationship will be very good. And they will last very long and have lots of comfort. It's her good fortune that this divorce is happening. It's about time, tell her also.
So, yes. Divorce.
Say, no worries. Go. Now you know why? Now, understand what I'm saying. This Ketu here will not allow Rahu to function. It's in 12th house. It decides all the Upapadas. So if Rahu comes up, she cannot spend a year with the guy.
The new guy.
But it will be an Upapada.
But technically, she will spend 1 year stuck in that. I mean, even though it lasts for 1 month,
So
2
we
months,
have
3
remedies
months.
for that also. What you do is you tell her to take a flower, yellow flower, put water, close the hand, think about that partner when she meets the guy, this guy when she meets Rahu. And then throw away the water and flower. Close eyes, throw it away. Don't think about it. Out. Outside, throw it outside, in the garden somewhere. Recycle it that way. Okay?
And he will
Please.
leave.
She won't even see him, she won't even feel anything for him after that. Do it for 1 week, gone. Problem solved. Not, she can call me. I'll give some remedies. Okay? I would like to visit Argentina. I can do some heavy bagalatanta over there, settle a few things. No problem. Okay? Ha.
Is that like short
But
way of doing Kumbha Vivaha?
No, you have to meet the guy first for this remedy. Because you're putting the emotion, which is the water, and your association, which is the flower, the yoga. And you're saying, let that my yoga and my emotion go away from this person. After that, the person will have to move to a different town or country, and after that,
Oh, it's a nice idea.
you like it,
Yes,
huh?
I like it.
Yes, you let go of the emotion, you will not feel anything for the person. After that, life is fine. You have to meet the person first for this, though. Kumbha Vivaha would be better to, just skip. But you have to, like,
Is it for love or for get general?
all general relationships. You want them out of your life, you do this. I know I had to get rid of a few. So, okay. But don't do it too much. You might start getting too attached to the person. You know, maximum a few days, 1 week max. That's it. According to me, it should work first day. It should work first day.
Or this actual relationship possible. Break.
Why you want to keep it?
Yes. Saturn
Either it's
night.
Jupiter join this, or it's Ketu over here. She needs a child. Then what? At least with this guy, all she needs is a house, or he needs a house. Life is fine.
For example,
She has
for
house.
divorce case.
She has one. Ah, what?
For example, a lady wants to divorce, but husband doesn't want. Can these techniques work?
Yes. But should you do it? Ask yourself. Is that person good for me? Is that person bad for me? We said, oh, this is there. Either he's Rahu or he's Saturn. Saturn night, Durbhagya Yoga. Then, okay, no problem, go. Okay. Second Lord from Upapada, if heavily afflicted, will show how difficult it is to get divorced. Sometimes there's a curse on the Upapada itself. Sometimes there's a curse on second from Upapada. If the curse is on second from Upapada, the problem is when you have to get divorced. It could be a long, drawn-out proceeding. See this. Mercury is here, joint Sun, joint Ketu. Rahu is also afflicting here. Mercury is Nicha. He's trying to come out of Nicha by being retrograde and going over into Ucha. This is a mad situation. But this is all in 11 from Aruna Lagna I have calculated. So that is not bad. And do they live in an apartment or house? House. House. Dispositive moon is Mars over here. She will get the house. And then she can keep the house because when she needs the next guy, they need a house. And
She helps. The husband, okay, no problem.
yes,
Stay in
see?
your house.
See, it works.
Stay in the house.
11 from Aruna Lagna has Mars, and Mars is dispositive moon. She will get the house. There might also be an apartment. Dispositive moon is Ketu over here. There will be some litigation associated with the second from Upapada, and that's Mercury over there. She will also gain from that. So she will win everything from this. Okay? So we say this is the clean husband out yoga. You just tell her blindly. It's okay that the marriage is going, and whatever you want from the husband, you can get it. All you have to do is talk to a lawyer.
Yes, he needs lawyer now, but no problem.
Tell her, don't worry. Any questions?
Well, that's a blessing, but you know, like we have
these things. I see she stay with other woman. It's possible to say this.
She is staying with another woman, or he is?
He. She think that.
Okay, let's see.
I think.
Ooh.
Where is he?
Huh?
Shiny.
He's over here.
Venus, huh? And transit. Like
Why should he do that from the
But-
chart?
Mars.
See, second from Upada will only show what is the excuse for marrying. Excuse.
Second from Upapada.
Yes. Is the excuse. Sorry, excuse for divorcing. Excuse for marrying is Upapada itself. So let's see. This is the first Vivaha. This is second Vivaha. Second from the 7th house in the Navamsha Lagna. From the Navamsha. Oh, I'm getting so tired. Now, this is what you do. 8th house in Navamsha shows what is the real break of the first relationship. Similarly, see second from the 2nd house in Navamsha for the real break of second relationship.
Shani, are they even sleeping together? Or?
It shows here it's Saturn in 3rd house. 3rd house has to do with intimacy. Okay?
Combination.
3rd house has to do with intimacy. So if the second from the 2nd house is having is breaking the relationship, and you see a planet there, then surely an issue with intimacy is coming up. Surely,
Shani
no doubt.
itself in second from any Upapada can indicate that
They're
couple
cold,
is
all right.
not-
They're
yeah.
cold, but how do you know it's cold in intimacy? It's in 3rd house, particularly. It didn't have to be like that. The Lord of this could be somewhere else. Right, then it was an intimacy, but this is intimacy over here. Yeah. That's the reason.
Good, let's eat.
Okay. Any questions?
So what's the reason?
They are not having good intimate life.
They don't dance enough.
Communication.
Yeah, communication.
Intimate life.
Intimate. Oh, yeah. That is obviously.
Maybe husband goes to someone
Yeah.
else.
Does it matter? The
It's
two of them
difficult
are
to
not.
say.
It's not okay to do.
Oh.
Okay.
We record all of them?
I suppose yes.
All but 3. Remember? I didn't even
Last one?
pause it, please.
Last one is good things.
How did you find second kettle?